I wanted to start us off today with the Donald Trump whistleblower. Trump was told his name was in Jeffrey Epstein files before the Department of Justice withheld documents from the Wall Street Journal. And of course, they picked the best orange face. I've heard a lot of talk that Donald Trump, the reason he's wearing so much orange face nowadays is because he's trying to disguise the dark tint of his skin due to the heart problems that he's having. That it's a lot worse than people think. So, Attorney General Pam Bondi told President Donald Trump at a meeting in May that his name appeared multiple times in Department of Justice documents about sex pest Jeffrey Epstein, reported Wednesday, the Wall Street Journal. The May date reported by the Journal was weeks before the Department of Justice July 7th announcement that it would not release the Epstein files, despite earlier promises by the Attorney General, who leads the Department of Justice, and others in the president's orbit, that the material would be disclosed to public. So, I mean, is it possible that Donald Trump thought that his name wasn't in these files? I don't think that that's a possibility. I think Donald Trump knew that, but I think Donald Trump's one of these guys who tells people, you're going to release the Epstein files, but I think he believes intuitively that these people are under his thumb and that they're not going to release any type of information that involves his name. Like, they're going to know what to do. We've seen this over and over again with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not really a guy who has a lot of foresight. He doesn't think about what's going to happen if he asks somebody to do something and they do something that he wouldn't want them to. He just assumes, in my opinion, that these people would remove his name. He's a person that, in my opinion, thinks, oh, well, if I tell Pam Bondi that she's going to go ahead and release these files, she's only going to release certain files. Now, a lot of these people, like Pam Bondi, are career lawyers. They know that, you know, the process of going through this, they can't do certain things without the discovery period, without evidence being put forth, without online sleuths going through it and being like, well, hold on, there's a bunch of shit missing, right? And we've even talked about a bunch of times before that, you know, the number of times that his name appears in these files, allegedly, you would have to redact the shit out of these files. You would have to redact the shit out of the context that is involving his name. And I truly believe at this point that Donald Trump did know his name was allegedly in those files. But I think that he also thought that people would go through and do the work for him and that they would just take it out. So, with that being said, the Department of Justice said Wednesday in a statement that Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanc discussed the Epstein files with Trump as part of their routine briefing, but did not specify the timing of the briefing. The Journal reported that the president was also told at the meeting that many other high-profile figures were also named in the Epstein files, and the files contained what officials felt was unverified hearsay about many people, including Donald Trump, who had socialized with Epstein in the past. And of course, now we're like seeing more and more stuff coming out right now, right? You got that recent CNN story where the guy had went and found videos and photos of Epstein at Donald Trump's marriage to Marla Maples. Of course, that CNN correspondent said he called Donald Trump to talk to him about it, and that the conversation lasted about 30 seconds before Donald Trump said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" and hung up on him. They've got him running scared right now, and I truly believe his only hope is that he commutes Ghislaine Maxwell's sentence and gets her to come out and say that he was not a part of these files. Being mentioned in the Epstein's record is not a sign of wrongdoing, the Journal noted. The Department of Justice's decision not to release the Epstein files sparked backlash from Trump's MAGA supporters who have obsessed over conspiracies related to the Epstein case for years. MAGA people? Obsessed with conspiracies? So many shockers today. Jesus, like, I mean, they're really blowing my mind. In the face of that criticism from his political base, Trump last week directed Bondi to seek the unsealing of transcripts for grand jury proceedings related to federal probes of Epstein and his convicted procurer, Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, of course, we just saw today that the judge in that case has denied access to that grand jury testimony. People have asked me just recently whether or not that I thought that they would disclose it. I said that it was all just a distraction, that at most, even if it was allowed, it's because they've already seen the grand jury testimony, and that they're happily going to release anything that doesn't say anything at all, right? Like, it's going to be a whole lot of words that don't mean anything. But the most likely case was that Donald Trump, and I believe it was Luna, I think, was one of the people that was involved with it, the rep Luna. I think that they had a discussion. I think that they know that the judge wasn't going to allow the grand jury to release the testimony, and that in the end, they could say, hey, look, we're doing stuff. I mean, what we have right now with Mike Johnson doing what he's done, and he's put Congress on vacation a week early to stop people from being able to vote to release these files, as it seems as though enough Republicans and Democrats have now bonded together to force that vote. Now, Mike Johnson, of course, sent everybody on vacation to deny them the ability to do that. In my opinion, once again, this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, I believe they did that on purpose. I believe that these, what is it they said, 100 FBI agents that were put on the task of taking out Donald Trump's name or anything that's verifying that he was in those files. I believe that Mike Johnson is now attempting to give them the time that they feel necessary to be able to do that work. And when they come back in September, they're going to be like, look, you guys thought Donald was all over these bad boys, and they are nowhere to be seen. That's so weird. It's so weird. We took an entire month and a half off, and we came back, and here we go, guys. We got binders. Read on. We got binders. Oh, we got binders. Oh, dude. So many binders. All right. So then it goes on to say, Trump had been friends with Epstein for years, but the two men fell out long before Epstein killed himself in jail in August 2019, weeks after being arrested on federal child you-know-what charges. Epstein also had many other wealthy, high-profile friends, including Britain's Prince Andrew. I love that they're still trying to, because this is a Rupert Murdoch paper, they're still trying to act like, well, Trump did get rid of, Epstein way before any of this stuff was happening, as though Epstein only started doing all this crazy shit, a couple of years before Trump found out about it. He was hanging out with him all the time. They're best friends. There's tons of video, tons of photos. But guys, he had just barely found out about this. He barely knew the guy, okay? He barely knew him. Reached for comment on the Journal's news reporting, White House Communications Director Stephen Chung, who's a piece of human garbage, told CNBC, the fact is that the president kicked Epstein out of his Mar-a-Lago club for being a creep. Sure he did, Stephen. Sure he did. And you still get to go there? I don't know if that checks out. The evidence seems to say that no, he didn't. This is nothing more than a continuation of the fake news stories concocted by the Democrats and the liberal media, just like the Obama Russiagate scandal, which President Trump was right about. He said Obama, guys. He said Obama. It's time to trigger the brainwashing. Obama. It's time to trigger the brainwashing.
I love the poorly educated.
Oh, my God. This is so amazing. In a joint statement Wednesday on the Journal's reporting, Bondi and Blanche said the DOJ and FBI reviewed the Epstein files and reached the conclusion set out in the July 6 memo. Nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, and we have filed a motion in court to unseal the underlying grand jury transcripts. Of course, this all sets them up for their own failure. If you're going to continue to say that there was no information, if there's no investigation, so at no point can you release any information that shows that anybody can be held accountable. At this point, Trump has said it's a hoax. At this point, they have said there is nothing in the files. At this point, they've said there are no files, even though they gave binders to a bunch of influencers and said there would be another phase. Phase 1 does indeed make you feel as though there would be, other phases after phase 1. But once again, Trump voters, not the smartest people. They're just going to accept whatever Trump puts out there. And right now, what they are eating the whole hog, the entire hog, all the way to the balls and swallowing the load, is that Obama, he lied and committed treason. This is big for them. They want the black man to go to jail. This is the main thing for them. As part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings, Blanche and Bondi said. Trump was asked last week by ABC News journalists if Bondi had told him your name appeared in the files. No, Trump replied. No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of credibility of the different things that they've seen, the man who ran on releasing the Epstein Files is like, just a quick briefing. That's all I need. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to ask any questions. Just, give me the cliff notes. We just need the cliff notes. Trump went on to say he believed that these files were made up by former Director James Comey and by the administrations of former Democratic presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Of course, we also know that James Comey's daughter was just fired because she was the person who prosecuted Epstein and Diddy, right? Diddy as well? I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure Diddy as well. The Department of Justice last week fired Manhattan federal prosecutor Maureen Comey, the daughter of James Comey, whose past cases had included the federal prosecutions of Epstein and Maxwell. The Journal last week published an article reporting that Trump in 2003 sent Epstein a body letter to mark his 50th birthday at Maxwell's request. The letter contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. Who else have you guys ever met in your entire fucking life? Name one person that draws and writes only in marker. This dude, he just leaves a entire paper trail of evidence behind him. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breast, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. It's so fucking weird, guys. So weird. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Trump has angrily denied writing the letter. This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story. By the way, the Wall Street Journal owned by Rupert Murdoch, who once again is Donald Trump's friend, who I'm sure pretty soon Donald Trump is going to start telling people he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago like 10 years ago, right? We just follow the plot line, right? He said Thursday, "I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women." He said, "It's not my language. It's not my words." And once again, of course, we've got evidence that shows that Donald Trump indeed has written multiple pictures, as well as when, all these people came out and they're like, he didn't say enigma. He didn't say enigma. He didn't say enigma. It turns out he said enigma. He's definitely used the word enigma before. On Friday, the president filed a defamation lawsuit related to the story against media mogul Rupert Murdoch, which Murdoch's family controls. The Journal's publisher, Dow Jones and Company, and the two reporters who wrote the article, which was published Thursday evening. News Corp owns the Journal. Trump's lawsuit seeks at least $10 billion in damages. $10 billion. I'm not sure if Donald Trump is Dr. Evil or Gold member. He might just actually be a little bit of a mixture of both. Like any made-up supervillain that's ever existed. Like throw a little Lex Luthor in there as well. It's like Lex Luthor, Gold member, and Dr. Evil combined. A Dow Jones spokesperson told CNBC, "We have full confidence in the rigor and accuracy of our reporting and will vigorously defend against any lawsuit." What do you think, guys? What do you think? What do you think, guys? Do you think Trump's name is in there? I don't know, guys. It's so hard to tell with all of this evidence that has been accruing over the past 2 decades. Do you think it's possible that Donald Trump's name is in those files? Boy, that would be a surprise to me, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out that video on the screen now.